guys.
Welcome to our video series, Transforming the World in and Around You. We're so excited to have you watching this. So we just want to share our stories starting out. And what we have found is that in order to fully walk in your God-given calling, that requires cultivating a thriving inner world and relationship. And I'm not saying that you can't move forward before you heal your inner world. It actually, healing comes as you go, as you walk, as you move.
Right.
So a couple of highlights from our lives is that I gave my life to Christ in 2013, right after I graduated college, and I began to experience crazy freedom after that. The only thing that I'm sure I struggled with things that I didn't know, but the thing that was like a recurring thing for me that felt like a cycle I did not know how to get out of, that felt like a weight on me, like in my pursuit of the Lord and in my pursuit of building His kingdom, was that a few years before I had an eating disorder. And I didn't know what a healthy relationship with food looked like. Even experiencing freedom with Jesus, even knowing who I was as a son or daughter, I felt stuck in this still. And so I pressed into the Lord. I fasted. I prayed. I didn't know how to get out of it. I knew that there was a way out, and I knew I would get out of it. And I've experienced freedom. And it was so much easier than you might think. And my husband has some pretty amazing victories in his life.
Yeah. So I'll just start here. At a young age, I always felt kind of alone and rejected, and kind of that fear of rejection. I've always loved the Lord. I've always desired Him ever since I can remember. I think in high school, how this affected me was that I actually didn't take any risks. I kind of I loved people so much, but I didn't approach anybody. I kind of just hung out with whoever was around, and felt like I missed out on so much. And it was just like this fear inside of me that I wouldn't be accepted as I was, you know. While I had amazing experiences and a great childhood, I think eventually that kind of caught up in my life. You know, I went to YWAM later on in my life and experienced huge breakthrough, where I saw people healed, saved, delivered, every single part, and it was so exciting, and I felt like I'd reached the pinnacle of my life so early in life. But funnily, not very funny enough, soon after that came one of the hardest, worst seasons of my life, where I fell into sexual immorality and addiction to porn like I hadn't ever had. It had been there a little bit before that, but I believe that search for significance and value and acceptance in the hard time manifested itself in addiction. And crazy awesome, God delivered me in one night, actually, when I found the root of the things that had been tripping me up, and reached out for help, where I reached out for I actually had people who were telling me what I needed, like how to get out of it. And so I asked for help, and I followed what they said, and I took risks. I was vulnerable, and I repented. I confessed all of my faults, and found so much freedom, and took huge action and it took a lot of genuine honesty, you know, and crazy amazing freedom came out of that, and to where I feel more alive than I've ever felt before. Seeing breakthrough, having grace on myself to not be perfect, believing that I'm accepted and loved, and in turn, like, loving myself as well. So
Yeah, and so when I take that is so foundational to fulfilling your calling. The Sermon on the Mount is all about the heart, and so we know that that's a primary issue to the Lord is our hearts. You know,
yeah,
that Beatitude says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." And so, creating space in your heart to heal that unresolved past pain is going to liberate you to be able to walk into your God given calling with confidence. That's what led us to being able to get married to our dream spouse, relocate to a dream location, and start our dream business. And we know that those aren't the goals of our lives. Our goal is to serve the Lord, and ultimately what motivates us in building our business is that we see people transformed, and we see people encounter Jesus, and we see people experience lasting freedom, so they can walk out in their calling and not fall into these cycles of shame and self-hatred and performance.
yeah. And I like after experiencing such profound freedom, that that like we couldn't keep it. We can't keep this to ourselves. You know, like I wish I had known earlier the things that we're now teaching thousands of people to do. So we want to shorten that journey for you.
We do. And we also, as you begin the journey walking into freedom, a part of our program is also cultivating a lifestyle of dreaming with God. We believe that dreaming with God is so healthy for your heart and so healthy for your life. And so we just want to leave this video encouraging you that God sees your dreams and your desires, and they matter to Him.